Here's to the finest crew in Starfleet. Engage. Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise. Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise.
Welcome to The Greatest Generation, The Next Generation. It's a Star Trek podcast by a couple of guys just a little bit embarrassed about having a Star Trek podcast. I'm Adam Pranica.
I'm Ben Harrison.
Ben, you pocket dialed me over the weekend, and you're one of the people in my life that I try to always pick up the phone for whenever they call, because you never know.
Probably an emergency if Ben is calling, right?
Yeah, you could be in a hospital or any other situation. What's wrong with Ben this time? I mostly have a text relationship with all of my friends, so if they're calling without the text to see if they can call you in a second, that can sometimes mean emergency. So I picked right up when you called, and I was very surprised at what you told me.
Oh, that I had accidentally called. Well, I looked down at my phone and saw that I had a phone call going with you.
What an awful surprise.
I'd had my phone in my hand, and I was taking my kids to the park, and so I got the boy out, and then I was getting the girl out of her car seat, and I had their water bottles, my water bottle, her balance bike, his scooter, his helmet, and my phone, and her. I was like carrying all of this stuff.
Have you ever been wagon dad? Like I see dads with wagons with all the shit in it. Is that ever going to be you?
I am wagon dad very often. And
you're kind of a wagon yourself, aren't you?
It is much to the chagrin of my wife, who sees how much stuff I'm schlepping and gets like a contact high off it. Like, that just seems like a giant hassle. And I'm like, you calm down. I'm doing the hassle. You enjoy your no hassle.
I love that energy of noticing the struggle but not helping the struggle. That's good. It's so pure.
Just feeling all the bad feelings of the struggle without mitigating.
Yeah.
Is a thing that she can occasionally find herself doing. But I don't even know how I did it, because I think it was that like mystery button that's on the side of the iPhone now that like, I think you can like set it up to do different stuff.
Oh, you got to remap that if that's just auto dial Adam.
Yeah, I think it's red phoning to you right now. That was all I could come up with. But yeah, I saw that we had a phone call going, and I was like, oh, hey, what's up, man? And you were like, you're calling me.
I think I was a little nicer than that. I was like, what's going on, dude? But it was said like you called me.
Yeah.
That sort of expectation.
Yeah, waiting to hear what this is about. And it was about me living in a good deal of self-inflicted chaos.
Are you a back pocket phone person ever?
Yeah, here's the thing. I only like it if my phone is in the back pocket on the right. And somehow in my life, I've recently come into a couple of pairs of shorts that do not have a back pocket on the right side. They only have one on the left side.
What?
And I don't want my phone back there on the left. That's not where I want that.
There has to be some sort of cultural or fashion rule about this. Why pocket on one side? And why specifically left?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe it's picking up from shirt pocket. Like if you only have one shirt pocket, it's going to be left.
I've definitely gotten shorts before where right pocket is open and left is sewn shut, and you got to open it up for some stupid reason.
That's fucking weird, man.
Yeah, don't love that.
Well, I deeply apologize for interrupting your Saturday.
That was not an invitation to apologize, Ben. It never is.
Why does everything feel like that, though?
I was just delighted at the throwback vibe of it. The pocket call is just not a thing I ever get, really, anymore. And after we stopped the call, I was like, God, what a thing that was.
Yeah.
What a thing that used to be.
I still get them from my mom, and I don't really know what she's doing to do it, but
olds are great at this.
Yes. Yeah. They're like circumventing all of the design elements that have been put in place to prevent these kinds of things somehow.
There is a commercial that plays during Dodgers games 50 times per game for a phone that has closed captioning in it.
Oh.
And the two ladies who are doing the dialogue my wife and I can do the dialogue like back and I can't hear what people are saying on the phone anymore. I'm about to tell you something that will change your life. And then this old lady shows her old lady friend this closed captioning phone. This is not branded content, I want to say. I don't believe we're going to do ads for closed caption phones, but holy moly, like this is another tech device to solve a problem for old people that has nothing to do with pocket dialing whatsoever.
It has never been so well captured as the Old Glory robot insurance commercial, like the tone of a thing that is only for old people.
Yes. That's it exactly. That's what I love about this thing, and that's why this commercial never gets old to me.
Are olds not insulted by that tone? It seems really condescending.
I mean, if anyone's going to get insulted on behalf of anyone else, it's gonna be you. I don't know, man. If I'm an old, who gives a shit about anything? I mean, we've noticed this, right? No one seems to care.
Too old.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, some very salty tudes being presented to the entrepreneur crew on today's episode of TNG. Surprising condescension and disrespect, much in the way that you might feel if you're old and seeing a commercial for a reverse mortgage or a phone that closed captions the call you're on.
It's true, Ben. Incredible pivot into Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 1, Episode 14, Angel One.
Make it so. Make it so.
So we just came from a dead ship. There's no last time on, but the captain's log tells us that they finally found the Odin, long lost. Escape pod's missing. There's one inhabited planet in the vicinity that these escape pods could have gone to, but we're talking about 7 years the ship was missing. Who even knows if there's going to be survivors on this thing? And they pull up to this planet, and it is described as a mid-20th century Earth-like planet, sparsely populated.
Could you say that this is mid-20th century modern? Not in that way, I guess, but in the galactic sense, I think that probably works.
Yeah. I think in Star Trek, you would have to specify which century it is mid of.
Right.
And I mean, it does make sense that that is what feels most like home to Geordi specifically.
Sure.
Kind of like being ruined at home.
But they're like, okay, well, long shot, because the escape pods would have been in space for 5 months getting here.
Seems like a long time.
The smell when they popped the lid on those cans must have just been absolutely horrific, like the clothes rotting off their bodies.
It's been 62 years since anyone from the Federation has had contact with this planet. A planet that we come to understand is a female-led society. And as we were talking about before, the tech loosely resembles what we would recognize in a 20th century Earth context.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know everything we've developed technology for here on Earth. I assume somebody has a way of making a large garden pot disappear somewhere on the planet Earth as we record this, but I haven't seen that in person.
One bit of social technology this place has not invented yet is equality of the genders.
They sure have not. We learned that this is a matriarchal society in every way that men fear that would mean. Just like Beta Z. And so they give Troy the distinct honor of placing the phone call. And I love a head of state who's just available, you know? Beata, the elected, picks the phone right up and seems pretty standoffish. Like you called me. What's this about?
Would you say that she began the conversation with a kind of beatitude?
Let's just say, unless some of the reforms suggested to her take place pretty quickly after the Enterprise leaves, I don't think she's in line for beatification.
Indeed.
Sorry, that was a just staggeringly long walk to nothing.
Troy kind of pivots the awkward conversation into the area of their search for the escape pod survivors. And this elected one on the phone says that they would permit a short visit if that's what it's for.
And only if that's what it's for. We don't want you guys here, is the energy.
If you really don't want them there, wouldn't you say, we'll search for you? That's what I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I think in retrospect, it does make sense. She's like, I don't know where those guys are. I want as few of them as possible down here. And if there is a silver lining to this visit, it is that maybe these people will take those guys away. But we don't understand what any of her motives are here before the theme. And after the theme, Wesley and a Bud are heading into the holodeck to take a skiing class. And Riker and the away team are on their way to the transporter. And Picard is like, all right, Riker, go down there, see what's up, maintain diplomatic relations, whatever that means to you. But keep in mind, like, we're real close to the Romulan neutral zone. There's a little bit of rumbling from the other side of the line over there. This planet's in a strategically important spot, and might get shortlisted for Federation membership, so don't do anything that would fuck any of that up for us.
We'll do our best to make a good impression, Captain.
At what point would you begin to feel a little bit insulted by this sort of pregame coaching by the captain? Because on the one hand, I really love that, like, the captain will give you one last slap on the ass on your way to the transporter room to, like, get you in the mind to do a good job. But on the other hand, if I'm Riker, I'm like, what do you expect me to do? Like, do you think I'm going to go down there and fuck things up? This is sort of my main job on Enterprise, is leading these Dustbuster clubs. You trust me, don't you?
I mean, it's a very strange environment he's going into. And this is described a little bit in the log, that basically all of the gender essentialist traits that we ascribe to males and females are just flipped on their head on this planet. The women are hunters and aggressive and kick tons of ass.
You are the most beautiful trio of gigantic ladies I've ever laid eyes on.
And the men are littler and meek. Nothing about, like, whether that extends to reproduction or, like, what that means for reproduction, which I feel like is, like, the most gender essentialist thing people talk about.
Sure. I was doing a lot of thinking about what exactly Trent was for this episode.
Right.
You know?
What would you say you do here?
Trent is a serve in heaven rather than rule in hell kind of guy, right? Like, he's surrounded by tall Amazons who presumably use him for some pleasures in addition to his various toils that he functions under.
From what I read, Gene Roddenberry really wanted to snoo the shit out of this story and this planet, and, like, had to get his ideas walked back a little bit so that it wasn't so tiny man, giant woman fantasy of the Amazonian sort of story here.
Beata we meet finally, and she is pretty evasive in our first interaction with her. Like, won't even say whether or not survivors is something they're aware of. Like, she says it in a way where it's like, okay, like, for sure there are survivors, and she just doesn't want to say, but will not admit. And there's a couple of other kind of high-ranking government officials who are, like, even more suspicious of the Enterprise crew. Why would they come here? This is clearly them looking for survivors of this spaceship is a lie. We can't trust them.
Beata from jump seems like the sort of person that just wants to get into semantic arguments over some bullshit for sport. Like, especially with Riker. Like, Troy is leading the conversation, but if at any point Riker contributes to that conversation, he gets kicked in the nuts almost immediately by her.
Is this man implying that we put a lesser value on life than you do? Not at all.
It is decided that while Beata and her counselors decide whether or not to do anything further to help the away team, they can go check into a hotel or something. And so they're sent there, and emotional bloodhound Deanna Troi is like, yeah, it's weird because they're, like, definitely on edge about our being here and what it's going to mean about the survivors of the crash. And I'm pretty sure that like the reactions I was picking up on in there mean that there are survivors, but like they're not all afraid of the same thing. And so I can't really crystallize what it is that they're so on edge about.
I kept on wanting something a little more, not the way Beata wants something a little more, but something a little more from little houseboy Trent. Like I wanted him to turn by the end of this or help in some way. In a way that was instrumental to the mission being successful, but this character is just kind of nothing the whole time.
You know, in that way, I have to applaud the TNG writers' room because they write Trent the way they write women, just not having much to do or any real perspective of his own. He's a potted plant.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like Data's question of like, so if they do wind up lying to us about the survivors being here, should we like plan for what we do in that case? And Riker's like, nah. We're not going to worry about that.
The Data-ness of it all is such a great point because like we are told that this is mid-20th century Earth style technology. What do you think would happen, Ben, if let's just say in 1960, Data from Star Trek The Next Generation appeared on our planet? You think people would have some feelings about that? No one pays him any mind on Angel 1 is my point.
Yeah. One of the rare interactions he has with aliens where he doesn't have to describe what he is to them.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of those planets where I expected a long, hard object to be sticking out from his body almost the entire time.
I know exactly what you mean.
I am an android, mistress. Though anatomically I am a male.
Maybe you could teach our males a thing or two.
Darmok, Angelad, and Tanagra. Darmok, Angelad, and Tanagra.
Up on the ship, Picard and Worf were wandering around together, and Picard is like, all right, well, Yar is down on the planet, so she can't do this. But somebody up here needs to be getting the ship rigged up and ready for potentially confronting some Romulan battleships, because that is what our next mission is looking like it might entail. Like there are a number of reports indicating military buildup along the border, and we need to get ready for anything, like any projectile that could come from any angle. And almost to underline this point, Picard gets beamed with a snowball.
I feel like when you're walking around some cities at night, you will walk by the row of bars and restaurants, and there's like action spilling out of them or whatever. And you're aware in these places, in these moments, that your head needs to be on a swivel.
Sure.
I wonder if when you walk by the holodeck, you need to also be mindful of those doors could open at any time.
Right.
Something could fly out at any time. And that something might not be something you want touching you.
Yeah. Yeah. Something that could stain.
Yeah. Yeah. So like this heavy conversation is happening between Picard and Worf as they're walking by the holodecks. No one's paying attention in that way you want to pay attention when you're walking downtown by Restaurant Row or whatever. And he gets nailed with this snowball. Question I have about this scene is that who do you think threw it? Because Wesley takes the blame.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at his buddy. His buddy's not saying shit, kind of rightly. And I wonder if Wesley isn't taking the fall for the bud.
I think Wesley is for sure taking the fall for the bud. I also just wondered like how this scene played in the late 80s when it aired, because they're standing there like going like, what's that smell? And Worf describes some like plant on Kronos.
Yes. Slightly reminiscent of night blooming Drogni, Captain.
Wesley has like adrenaline face, but the buddy is like so aloof. And I was like, is this a scene implying that they think that Wes was in the holodeck with his friend smoking jazz cigarettes and they like knocked off skiing and did what ski bums do, which is burn one before they headed back down the mountain?
I mean, I don't know if your group of friends is like this, but when I lived in Seattle, that was like The main thing in addition to the snow sport was the doing a super heroic gummy and going and playing on the mountain.
Right.
Quite stimulating, wouldn't you say?
No.
Why did they make it seem so much like West was smoking pot with his bud?
Yeah. Yeah. You can definitely see it through that lens here.
Speaking of smells, Data discovers a perfume puffer. We get a little opportunity to explain the rich sensory experience it is to have sex as a human. And Trent comes in and tells them Beata is ready for them. And then they leave, and he uses this perfume puffer on himself, which made me wonder, is this not a hotel room? Is this Trent's place? Like,
oh, interesting. I thought maybe it was just CK1.
A fragrance for a man or a woman from Calvin Klein.
Back in the council chambers, Beata tells the group that they held a vote and the results were not unanimous. We are going to let you remove the survivors. And you should know that there are 4 of them and their leader is named Ramsey. And these guys have been a real problem ever since they arrived. At first they were cool, but it didn't take long before they started to get all difficult and dangerous. So watch out.
We pretty much hate these dudes now. And Troy is like, well, I'm really sorry that happened to you. We're going to get these guys out of here. No problem. They're in hiding because they're fugitives, and specifically because they did not like the socio-political hegemony that women have on the planet. And because they were more willing than the average dude on this planet to speak up about it, it kind of soured the relationship between them and their hosts.
And the hosts lost track of them.
Yeah.
Later on Enterprise, in the sick bay, Wesley's friend and him are in bio beds. They've got what look to be like chest colds. And Dr. Crusher blows in a call to Captain Picard to tell him that she's working on figuring out what's going on. It's a little weird, though, at this point. I think she asks Picard if he's got any instructions for her, and he's like, yeah, go ahead and do that. Try to find a cure for them, if you can.
Don't fancy the idea of my crew being infected.
You know, everybody that went on the KwaZulu 8 field trip, probably safe to say, like, they should be quarantined, but who even knows what is the cause of this illness? I'm sure we'll find out by the end of the episode.
Yeah. Back on Angel 1, Data suggests calibrating the ship's scanners to find the Odin survivors. This makes sense, right?
They narrow down a substance that would be present with the survivors that would not otherwise be present on the planet. That's platinum. So Worf and Geordi get to work on that, and Riker gets to work on getting dolled up for another meeting with Beata, and Yar fucking hates this outfit. Does not care for Riker dressing this way at all.
I gotta say, Riker outranks everyone in the room and yet still takes a lot of lip about what he's wearing, and he remains a pretty chill boss about what he's hearing, pushing back lightly, using some specific examples from missions that they've been on. And then he turns it into, like, suspecting that they're upset because he's meeting with a hot lady. And they don't deny that, do they, Ben?
No pushback on that from them.
We've said this about Yar the entire season. Like, the way she goes off in many of these scenes, kind of unrestrained. Very surprising to me.
She's a passionate woman.
It's funny how in later seasons, Worf inhabited this role.
Yeah.
As the barely restrained emotional component to a Dustbuster Club that was like popping off on everything.
Loose cannon that occasionally oversteps what would strictly be acceptable in like a rank structure.
But I will be on the lookout for if he does this to his crew people, you know, the way Yar tends to do fairly often.
We're in season 1 of this show, and we start the next scene with Crusher tricordering Picard, pretty close on her tricorder. So you can see that it's like kind of scuffed up and pretty used looking. I really like that.
Yeah.
I like that it has cosmetic flaws. Like some of that is just like the cheapness of 80s TV, you know?
Sure.
But I like that these sets and props are starting to feel a little bit lived in. And Picard is ordered to bed. He's got whatever this bug is. And so he walks out of the ready room and puts Geordi in charge.
It's a real what's wrong with Captain Picard this time kind of season, isn't it?
It really is, yeah. It doesn't seem like you should have to go to the hospital for this.
My love is a fever, longing still for that which longer nurseth the disease. You'll have to go again.
Riker goes to his sort of meeting, sort of date with Beata. Like, it definitely seems like it was conceived of as a meeting, but the second she gets a load of him in his outfit, a lot of the formality gets dropped. She's pretty excited about this situation.
How handsome you look.
Thank you.
There's a real large amount of chest hair going on with this costume that Riker's wearing. And I think that there's something specifically contrasted between that and the other dudes on this planet. They're little, all of them are, but they're also fairly hairless too, right?
Yeah, and I wondered if they were like shaved hairless or if they cast for hairless. I wish they did this way more often in Star Trek, as like cast for like a size of person, you know? Like I've always said this about Klingons, like cast super, super tall, imposing people as Klingons.
Sure.
That's really fun to me. The casting in this is fun too. And like I really like the other matriarch, Ariel, who's kind of the main detractor from the away mission whenever we're talking to Beata. Like I feel like between her and Beata, I believe that they are like hunters with a killer instinct, you know?
Her energy is so strange, and you understand why a little later on, but the whole idea that Riker can be like, hey, great news, we found the survivors, and for Ariel to be like, I don't believe you.
You're lying.
Why would anyone be suspicious about that, and why would anyone lie about it? Was definitely a feeling I had in this scene.
Like, what would the upside for him be? And what do you think people should think the upside for him would be? Like, that's like the second element of this is like, she's trying to undermine the trust that Beata is placing in them, but without like giving any kind of plausible undergirding to that.
It's very much in keeping with the whole Riker can't do or say anything right around these people. And it's maybe best demonstrated in this scene by what Ariel is saying and doing.
Like, I don't know, what am I supposed to do? How do you express that we found the escape pod survivors in a like really sincere way, Ariel? Can you tell me? Can you like direct me? Give me a line reading on how someone would say that if they weren't lying.
She doesn't do that. She just storms out, and that leaves Beata and Riker alone for her to make a pass at him. And it's more of a cash-in of a promise suggested before in an earlier scene.
Yeah.
Can't Yar and Troy handle the recovery of the survivors? He seems to think so.
Women leading a mission? I mean, okay, we'll see if it works.
They named an entire episode Disaster a few seasons from now when they did that, Ben, remember?
I do remember that, yeah. So Riker's going to stay and lay a little pipe here at the government headquarters, and I love that he radios into the rest of the away team with his comm badge like in his hand. He didn't put that up on his shirt because the part of the shirt where that would be, there's no shirt there.
I definitely noticed the weird physicality and blocking in this scene because Beata is in the background of Riker's foreground, and when he kind of turns into profile and does the communicator thing, her arm has grabbed Riker's arm and then lets it go for him to take this phone call. It's a very strange blocking of the scene here that really stuck out to me. Like, I didn't know why she was touching him.
She is putting the moves on really thick and maybe just doesn't want any distractions.
Yeah.
Like maybe throw that thing in a fountain. I don't want that going off while we're getting busy.
It's a great policy to just leave your phone by the door.
Mm-hmm. So we do a site-to-site transport, and we find the campsite where Ramsey and his people have been hanging out. And just a nice hang at the Star Trek caves. And they're like, hey, well, we found you, so great news. We've got a real nice starship up in orbit, and we can take you out of here. Surprisingly, Ramsey and his people have really settled in. They have all taken wives. Some have had kids, and this is their home now. Even if they are an oppressed minority of 4, this is where they want to live.
Ramsey's whole vibe is not what we were expecting. We were told they were rebellious and destructive. And when we arrive at the outside of this caveside campsite, he's like toasting them. He couldn't be more chill. He's like the folks at the neighboring campsite that are like just there to party and everyone's welcome.
But they like keep their music at a respectful level, you know. It's just nice vibes.
I really thought this actor who played Ramsey was great. He was given nothing to do this episode, but like he had those like really sad eyes. He appeared to be a guy who'd really been through it, and I believed that he had been through it.
Been through it and like resolved to stay here nonetheless, you know.
Yeah.
Speaking of going through it, the virus is just ripping through the ship, and it's not great. Nobody is seemingly going to get spared. Worf gets sent to sickbay. Picard is trying to work through his illness, but almost goes without saying, he was one of the first ones to get sick, probably from getting hit with that snowball, I guess.
Sure.
And so no wonder he is doing really bad. Geordi almost just like checks out of being in charge of the ship to go to engineering to fix something. And Worf has to remind him like, hey, you're in charge now. You've got to delegate.
I think off and on this season, we've gone back and forth with like, this is a bad blank episode and like put a character's name in that blank. I think this is a bad Starship Administration episode because there is nothing about the Angel One mission that seems more important to me than the staffing of the starship properly. And they are just letting things go to shit up there, where at any point you could beam Data up.
They talk about it. Like, this is unlikely to be affecting Data, so...
He's not doing shit down there anyway.
You know what? I'm going to say it. Even though Data is coded as male as an android, and Yar and Troy are female, I think they could just do the rest of the away mission, just the two of them even, and be just as effective.
I don't know if any away mission is better without Data, but yeah, I think he's better served up on the ship for sure.
So yeah, a lot of debate with Ramsey, who is not excited to be rescued.
I think so much is conveyed by him not even standing up. Like, there's a lot of sitting down and explaining the situation by Ramsey being done in his scenes. And I think that says he is not packed.
Yeah.
He is not ready to go. And he's not ready to try to convince anyone else to do the same.
As if to accentuate that, the people from the away team that go to visit him, like, never get down off of that high area that they're standing on to, like, go speak to him eye to eye or sit at the table with him or anything. Back at the government complex, Riker and Beata are starting to get hot and heavy. The passions are starting to swirl.
I think it's a good choice to cut from that scene at the cave to this one because we are talking to Ramsey, cut to talking about Ramsey, who Beata calls an anarchist. And we know that's not true because we were just in that scene at the cave. And so it adds a little bit of spice to what's happening between Riker and her. Like, I don't know that we can trust this lady if that's what she thinks of Ramsey, right?
It's funny because we can't trust her, but she's also admitting that she's like totally taken with Riker.
Yeah.
You attract me like no man ever has.
And like Trent walks in to just draw a bright line under that statement right as they're smooching.
This is why I wanted to know more about what Trent's deal was. Like, does he not like this moment because it's clearly awkward for everyone involved? Or does he not like it because he's used to being her toy, and now she's playing with a different toy, and he's got feelings about that.
It really seemed like the latter to me, but it's never said. Like that is all in Trent's facial performance.
Why don't we just say it? Why don't we get it in this scene?
I honestly like that we don't know. Like I've never wondered this much about anything that happened on Star Trek Discovery.
You know, what's interesting about that feeling's absence is that were we to have it, it would be a Riker is captain of the football team showing up a local in a way that feels bad. And I don't feel bad in this scene given what it is. I don't project that onto Riker as being a jerk.
Right.
Where if we got Trent feeling really bad about that, Riker would be seen as that.
Riker would suddenly seem like the rich land developer's asshole son, and Trent would have to do some cockamamie scheme to save the community center from being knocked down. And we'd be siding with Trent, not Riker.
Trent's there to bring him a meditation stone that the Dustbuster Club beamed down with earlier. It's used for meditation and also other things, is maybe the suggestion here when it starts lighting up in the bed.
Betta reacts to a rock lighting up in a way that indicates that there's something unseen delighting her about this.
We dissolve specifically from this scene to the cave, where Ramsey regales them with a short campfire story of their arrival to the planet, and he says things were cool at first. But it sucks when you're in a place without any social or political power. And that's when Tasha Yar says, he won't have to worry about that anymore, and it's time to go. And Ramsey's like, yeah, I understand things are better where you come from, but as bad as things are right here, he and his three buddies have grown to like it.
Yeah.
And Data, upon hearing this, is like, we actually don't have any jurisdiction over these folks. They aren't bound by Starfleet rules on the Odin, and they can stay if that's what their choice is.
There will be no forcible removal from Angel One. So, the Odin was not bound by the Prime Directive even? Just go sick. Go around the galaxy doing whatever you want.
If the Odin were a Federation starship, do you think anyone would have let 7 years go by before its loss was investigated? I bet that's a big part of it too, right?
I mean, how long was the Stargazer missing? 20 something?
You're right. I don't think it matters.
Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
Starships, we got plenty of those. Unless the plot specifically needs us to have very few of them, in which case, that.
Space is very big. A search and rescue is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
You get what you get when you sign up for this.
Geordi and Crusher are on the ship, and they're talking about how bad the situation with the virus is getting. Fully a third of the ship is down with it, and that is not going to make for a very ready or capable ship when it comes to a Romulan confrontation. So Geordi's like, yeah, maybe we do need to see about getting the away team back up here so that at least some ship business can happen before Riker and them also get sick.
There's a moment in this episode where when Picard gives command of the ship to Geordi, it feels significant for ways that may not be in universe. Like we're throwing the keys to the black actor to be the captain of the ship. And I know this isn't the first time shit gets bad really fast when he's the captain.
Not his fault.
No, not at all. This is a bad deal for him.
Total bullshit, man. It's just bullshit.
He's like the politician who's elected to clean up the mess of the previous politician.
Yeah.
So one last little interaction with Ramsey before the away team goes back to pick up Riker. And that is Yar going so how, you said you were expecting us, Ramsey. How'd you know to expect us here at your little camp compound? And he's like, don't want to say. Okay, well, later. And the second they go, Ariel, the other high-power government official, steps out from just on the other side of his Star Trek cave. And it's clear that she is the wife that he has taken.
There's something about Ariel that just reminds me of so many actors from the late 80s and early 90s. Like, she's so beautiful in that way in every scene.
I thought for a second that she might be that French lady from Lost.
Yeah.
And I looked at her, I was like, no, that different lady, but same vibe.
For sure. Yeah. Back in the bedroom, Beata and Riker continue to canoodle. Is that the right word? When you're just like kind of in each other's nooks?
I think so. I mean, I think that if they're going to take it much further, they might want to make sure Trent has been sent out for, pack of cigarettes or something. Just like get Trent off the compound entirely.
Yeah, I agree with that strategy. It's funny, like, I assume Riker's done a good job with the lovemaking or whatever. I just feel like that's his reputation, even without knowing for sure. But there sure is a great big layer of attitude coming from Beata that goes like, you're not like normal idiot men, are you? That has got to be so exhausting if you're Riker. Like, can you just stop comparing me to every other man?
Yeah. I mean, like in high school when I would watch, TV with my female friends and they would just like point out the like insane amount of misogyny that was present in every single moment of every single TV show and movie. It's like, oh yeah, I guess that is kind of how it is. Like Beata just like working her bias against men into every conversation would be really fucking annoying.
Did those high school friends also say, you're not like the other idiot men, Ben? That's a nice thing to hear.
I always knew I was like the idiot man. That's something I've always been very confident in. So Trent comes back and he's like, yeah, away team is here. They found the guys, but doesn't sound like they're going to leave. And so Beata is rip shit.
Beata goes to get a sandwich, and once she starts eating it, it becomes like this great big mess. During the conversation.
They never give you any napkins in this place. What am I supposed to use?
I mean, once it comes time to sentence them to death, it's clear that this isn't her choice.
Right.
Like, her hands are tied.
They had an opportunity.
Yeah.
And you blew it!
Yeah.
You blew it!
Crusher gives some gross, like, couldn't it have just been chicken soup? She brings something in a thermos to Picard and is like, this is going to really disgust you. He chokes it down. And then she picks up on the smell. She's like, you've been burning a roach in here? Picard, like, you're supposed to be on bed rest. I don't think that includes like burning reefers. What are you doing?
I definitely feel like when I'm really sick, like when I'm down really bad, I'm so desperate to feel better that I will try the grossest remedies.
Yeah.
Like, I'll drink apple cider vinegar every morning when I have a head cold, and I think that shit is gross, but I'm desperate.
My parents used to make me do echinacea and golden seal as a drink. It's like some herbal remedy, and it was one of those like the cure is worse than the disease things where like every burp I did for the next 3 days would just be like the most vile, upsetting thing in the world.
It's funny, like there's so many tinctures like that down the like natural food and remedy aisle of a grocery store that like I wish someone would just put it in a Fernet bottle and just say like Fernet, but good for you. Like, I don't particularly think Fernet is delicious, but I'll totally have it after a big meal and enjoy it.
Yeah.
But basically the tincture I'm drinking when I'm sick in the morning tastes exactly the same.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
I don't ever want to do that again.
Yeah. Hey, Ben, you don't have to do that anymore.
I'm like literally thinking about it and feeling like genuine disgust thinking about a thing that I haven't thought about in 25 years.
This show is so great.
I mean, I was probably sick in bed watching this episode the first time I had to have it, you know?
Yeah.
We didn't realize then what Crusher realizes in this moment, which is that the smell is the virus. And somehow that like unlocks a research path that she can go down to find an inoculant. Not really clear on why or how, but there is some progress being made on combating this illness. And Data reports to Riker. He's been in touch with the ship now, and Riker has been shooed away from Beata's bedchambers. And Data's like, hey, listen, bad situation on the ship, what with everybody being sick. Also, worst situation in the neutral zone. This is starting to get real touchy, and the fact that we're just running around with our pants off playing hide the sausage with these Angel Ones, and everybody up there is on the verge of death because of this mystery illness is going to be a problem.
The scorekeeping of this is conspicuous, right? The starbase out there is being outgunned by 7 Romulan battle cruisers, and boy, wouldn't it be great if we had one flagship of the Federation out there to help even the score?
Be nice.
Yeah.
I am the cutest of all. Lock phases on that vessel. I am the cutest of all. There are 4 lights.
So Riker makes the decision to return to the ship, but before they can, Beata and Trent walk in. She has some parting news. Hey, we got Ramsey, finally, and here he is. And Ramsey thinks that the Dustbuster Club gave them up.
They are really horrified by this because everybody gets marched in, including Mistress Ariel.
That's because she led them to them.
Yeah. It was, in fact, Ariel that was followed, and it's a bad look.
Beata had a private detective from Cheaters trail her to the cave.
This program is both dedicated to the faithful and presented to the false-hearted.
Riker just so much less attracted to Beata now, and doesn't care who knows about it.
Yeah.
He's like, can you just give us a chance to try to convince these Odin guys to come with us? And then they won't bother you. We'll just get them on our ship. You won't have to worry about them anymore. And Ramsey's like, no, I got to stay and fight. This is my home. There is an injustice here. I cannot rest. I cannot leave these people to exist in this injustice. I mean, look at Trent. He's basically a house cat. That's no way for a man to be. I feel terrible for Trent. He sprays perfume directly in his face. Who does that?
I wish I could feel anything at all about Trent. He's just a nothing character in this story.
Yeah.
He doesn't even seem to take joy in an execution, which should be, if you think about what his life is like, the most exciting part of anything he gets to do is to operate the execution machine. And he doesn't even look like he enjoys that.
Yeah. Maybe he just doesn't really have an axe to grind with large urns.
Right. Yeah.
Riker at this point is I think we may need to violate some civil rights here and forcibly remove these dudes from the planet because Mistress Beata is fucking bloodthirsty.
I'd rather face a court-martial than live with the guilt of leaving these people to their death.
And I think he has a point, right? If the goal is to make sure that the Federation has a diplomatic toehold with this planet, maybe letting them host and then execute for Federation citizens, and that be the most salient piece of association anyone on the planet has with the Federation is not a great idea.
Look, it's unsavory no matter how you cut it.
Yeah. But even this plan cannot be allowed to happen because Crusher is not letting the away team come back to the ship now. The ship is so sick and the virus is running so rampant. Only Data can be allowed back, and he'll just single-handedly take the ship to the neutral zone and hoist the Federation flag to scare off the ROMs.
How interesting was it to you that this room that they're taken to, the waiting area, is filled up with so many people? What they don't do is say that Ramsey has a ton of followers for his worldview. Mm-hmm. What they do is they show it. And this is, I think, the first moment where they do.
Yeah.
When Ramsey is told that if the entire group goes, that they can live, and then he turns down that deal, it's not that he doesn't want to die. It's that, this place has become his Dante's Peaks. It's more that vibe, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because he's never full-throated about the political stuff that Beata has been projecting onto him. It's just his mere existence
Yeah.
that she finds such a conflict with, right?
Yeah, and I think that maybe that could be like further illustrated by like seeing precisely what goes on in the society and what Ramsey was flouting that they considered to be so core to the like fabric of civilization. And like I do kind of believe that some of the time it is just like you're not doing your gender performance correctly and that feels threatening. Like I feel like that's a thing that an entire political party seems to be like extremely preoccupied with right now. But like Ramsey does not seem to be like a popular political renegade. It doesn't seem like he's trying to rally anyone to his cause particularly. Like he's willing to die for his cause, but he's also not like trying to lead a revolution as far as he's depicted.
You know, there are characters like that where the revolution is thrust upon them.
Right.
Like John Connor in the Terminator movies seemed like a very reluctant hero as a youth, especially.
Mm-hmm.
And there is definitely that vibe with Ramsey, I feel like.
Like Ramsey has more of the vibe of John Connor's redhead friend, you know, with the haircut and everything.
Yeah, easy money.
Yeah. I couldn't fucking believe that kid didn't tell the police where John Connor was. What? The police asked you a question. You just have to tell them the answer.
You don't still have many of your childhood friends, do you, Ben?
They're all in jail.
That's why you don't want to dig into getting the mugshot, Ben, because it would get you too close to the truth of being the only one released from that prison.
Gotta find that mugshot.
Harrison, you're being released.
Well, fellas.
All heads in the cell are like, what?
Looks like someone on the outside really cares about me. They like put in a long night of the soul, and the next morning find out that Data has not, in fact, left with the ship. And Riker's like, what are you doing? I told you to go to the neutral zone. And Data's like, you actually said go to the neutral zone in time to stop whatever the thing is. And I calculated like how long the starbase and the one other ship that are over there could last against the Romulan assault that we must assume is coming. And we'll get there right at the end of that.
I feel like if the guy on the Sutherland who hated Data so much as a commander of that ship knew about this, because Data had to have done the math of like damage and survivability and minutes. Like you can see the formula in your head. Like I'm sure there's like division of those things equaling 48 minutes. And that is some pretty terrible math if you're a human being, right?
It's pretty rough. Trent comes in and is like, hey guys, so execution time, if you're curious, you are more than welcome to join. And at the execution, Beata is maybe a little bit unsteady on her feet all of a sudden. Not so sure that this is the right thing. She's not performing that this is something that she feels like a zillion % confident is the right path. And we get the demonstration. Trent gets to evaporate the urn, and then Riker speaks up, and he says, like, listen, what these guys represent is a society that has evolved past the genders being stuck very firmly in two super separate roles that cannot ever be bridged. And that may be hard for you to swallow, but in our experience, it's way better. And I think you should, like, at least tolerate the discomfort of a different idea than the one that seems so obvious to you. And Beata's like, no, I'm going to kill him. She sends Ramsey into this apparatus, and I think we saw a full body shot of him down at his little campsite before, but I did not notice these handsome, strappy sandals that he is wearing until... Can you imagine wearing sandals to your execution?
Can you imagine putting your arms up on the thing that's made to execute you?
Are the arms going to not get vaporized and then just like flump to the floor?
That was my thought exactly. like two legs of lamb just slapping on the ground after you're gone.
Yeah.
Save these hands for Ariel so that she may enjoy them when I'm gone.
The arms of the martyr. She can wrap herself in them. And the martyrdom thing is the thing that causes Beata to finally reconsider. And the jury is not in deliberations for very long. Like the mistresses and the elected go. And, we were told right at the beginning of this scene that there were 48 minutes to spare. And with 17 minutes to spare, she comes in and is like, okay, we'll just we'll banish them. They'll go to an island or something. Is that good? And everybody's like, yeah, that sounds pretty good. We gotta get ready to get back to our ship. We'll see if Dr. Crusher can cure a virus with the remaining more or less 1/4 of an hour.
And they do. What a coincidence. Almost immediately upon returning to the ship, they walk through those turbo lift doors and Dr. Crusher administers the cure to the virus. And they find Picard in the captain's chair already, sounding a little hoarse.
Yeah.
He can't even say engage. Riker's got to do it for him.
I mean, we knew Picard kept his own saddle, so it doesn't surprise me that he has a little horse.
Oh, boy. And with that, they head into the neutral zone, Ben.
This is becoming a speech.
You're the captain, sir. You're entitled.
Not entitled to ramble on about something everyone knows.
But before we head into Priority 1 messages, I just have one big question. We've seen a trend of episodes where Captain Picard is diminished in a bunch of different ways and not really rising to the challenge. He instead is saved by other people. And he feels different from what most people remember him to be, at least for me. Going back to this first season of Picard has been very eye-opening because I do not remember him this way. And I've watched TNG over and over again for a number of years. It's been fairly surprising. So has your opinion of Captain Picard changed so far after watching 14 episodes of the first season of TNG?
When I get sick, I really get sick, and I don't usually have the gas to work through it.
Everyone at Uxbridge Shimoda just popped into the video and are nodding.
I mean, it is occasionally true that sometimes I'm very mildly sick and can work through it. But, my wife can have a cold and be like, well, I guess I'll just work from home and just work. And I feel like it's very rare that I'm sick that little.
Yeah, when you get it, you really get it.
So I feel for Picard in this moment, and I feel like he's really fighting to be in charge, and getting ordered around by Crusher is not a comfortable thing for him. But I am watching this first season in a slightly different mindset, and that is the mindset of somebody who has seen all of the new Trek that has come at us since we watched this season the first time. And I do feel like these are the kinds of things that I can imagine the Not My Star Trek people were talking about. Why is the captain ever not the hero of the story? Why did they divide the intellect of the captain away from the sexuality of the captain and put that into the first officer? Who is this weird old man that's in charge of the ship? I've been watching Homicide: Life on the Street, which recently got brought to streaming, and watching Yaphet Kotto in that series is really interesting in the context of also watching early TNG, because he was one of the actors that was up for the role of Picard, and he is a boss that is really smart and can really be counted on in Homicide: Life on the Street, but is also occasionally not a guy that you want to be on the wrong side of as an employee. It is it's such a fun thought experiment to think about these scripts in his hands and the way he would play them. And, not to take anything away from Pistu, who is an all-time GOAT, but
who was up for the role of Giardello in Homicide. And it's just amazing to think about what could have happened if they swapped.
Very surprising that I would have a Italian last name.
Fun stuff, Ben. Let's see what we got on the Priority 1 message inbox.
Let's do it.
Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
Need a supplemental income.
Supplemental income?
Supplemental.
Supplemental.
Yeah, it's extra.
The interest alone could be enough to buy this ship.
Ben, here's a promotional Priority 1 message.
Okay.
It's from Ted. Here's how that message goes. Friends of DeSoto, we don't live in a money-free federation yet where all medical treatments are available to everyone equally. Don't support Quark's War Orphan Fund, where you don't know where the Latinum is going. Give to support St. Jude and know it is saving lives. Support St. Jude. They never bill families for travel, lodging, or treatment. Because of donors, childhood cancer survival has risen from 20% to 80% since St. Jude opened. They also provide research results free to the world. I'm running for St. Jude on December 5th in 2026. My 4th time on Team Aaron Bell, a teen who lost his fight with cancer just before his 18th birthday. I'll train and do the hard work of running, and you can support by donating to St. Jude. Give every child a chance to celebrate Captain Picard Day. So you and everyone else can go to tedrunsforkids.com, and that is where you can help support Ted and the St. Jude Hospital, which is outside of Memphis. It is also a place that's near and dear to my heart. My cousin Pete Pranica, the play-by-play announcer for the Memphis Grizzlies, has made the St. Jude Hospital his main focus for donations and fundraising. It's a great, great place. They do great work.
Wow. Thanks, Ted, for doing that. And I sure hope a big crowd of FODs head to tedrunsforkids.com and make some donations. Big donations.
Yeah.
We got another P1 here. This one's from Josh K. It's to Adam and Ben. It goes like this. Uxbridge Shimoda, forever and forever, 100 years, Uxbridge Shimoda. Some things. Adam and Ben running around and Uxbridge Shimoda time. All day long, forever. All a 100 days. Adam and Ben. It's my second P1, so instead of being pedantic, I thought, why not be derivative? Rolaren drop. Rolaren drop, it says. Picard quote about making no mistakes.
It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose.
Maquis.
Maquis?
That's the message.
How about that? Thanks, Josh K.
If that's a reference, I didn't pick up on it.
I was reading it along with you in that way that sometimes like a bad actor will mouth the words that their co-star is saying, like to stay on script in their minds. I couldn't pick it up during. Maybe the longer we think about it, the clearer it will become.
Perhaps. Anything's possible, Adam. Thanks to Josh K.
Ben, we've got a final Priority 1 message here from Jim, and it's to you and me. Here's how that goes. Ben and Adam, I am a longtime listener and now a founder, I think. I don't know how to actually tell. I've also been to one of your live shows, the St. Louis show. It was a lot of fun. I was with my wife, and we were the couple who didn't want a picture and didn't see Star Trek V before the show. I still haven't watched Star Trek V. Thanks for the pod. Please play the Drunk Shimoda song. It has been too long.
Oh.
Ooh, he's not the smartest one. Let the boy take over control. Shimoda. Ooh, you make the warp drive hum. You gave up the ship to a child. Shimoda. Drunk Shimoda. Take important stuff, stack it up. Doesn't give a fuck, everybody's drunk. And Tasha Yar's getting robot hump. Ben, no! Drunk Shimoda. Drunk Shimoda.
P.S. Years ago on the pod, you asked why the arch wasn't lit up when you guys went to see it. The National Park Department shuts the lights off during certain seasons for migratory birds is the answer to that question.
Interesting.
How about that?
Is that a pro-migratory bird intervention in that it doesn't confuse them, or an anti-migratory bird intervention in that they bump into it?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, here's what I'll say. I went there at night. I think we were there together, checking it out. It was the only time we had to see it. I did not see a pile of dead birds beneath it. So I think there's our answer.
Yeah. Yeah. It was dead bird free in my memory.
You imagine going out there at night and it's just a constant assault of dead birds dropped from great height. I wouldn't love that. But I had a great time at the Arch. I had a great time in St. Louis.
Jim, you gotta see Star Trek V. They kill God.
Yeah.
Fucking wild.
Yeah.
Wild shit.
I like it. It's good. And I like all these priority one messages, Ben.
I do too.
Folks can go to podshop.biz to get one, either of the promotional or the personal flavors.
Mm-hmm.
You heard great examples of both. And getting one goes a long way in supporting the production of the shows that we make. So thanks.
Thank you.
Ben, it's time for a game. Let's make it fast. We've been friends for a long time, so let's test how well we know each other with a game of Who Do You Think You Are? I Am.
That's right. Who do you think you are? I am.
Coming back for the second time.
Okay.
First, I will select a character from this episode that most reminds me of you, and you'll select a character from this episode that you most identify with.
Okay.
If our answers match, we win. If they don't, we lose. It's a game that resembles, but is legally distinct from, the Newlywed Game. And the best part is, there's no way we'll offend each other with our choices.
Okay.
Ben, I'm making the stakes free. I just want to start keeping track of how often we win or lose this game, because I think over the long term, it could be very funny if
we just never...
if we're either really good at this or if we never get this right.
Boy.
All right, so grab a piece of paper.
Okay.
And write down the character that most reminds you of you, and I will write down the name of the character that most reminds me of you.
Okay. I am ready.
All right. So once you've written it down, hold it up to the camera and show me the name, and I'll read what you wrote. Ariel is the name that you wrote. Why didn't you tell me why?
I wrote down Ariel because she's outraged. She's pissed. She definitely would like to be playing an angle here, but isn't really sure how to play an angle, how one might go about playing an angle.
Okay.
But she's also driven by passion and isn't quite sure how to undo some of the injustice in her society, though she finds herself to be complicit in much of it. Just like me.
Well, great reasoning there, Ben. But unfortunately, I wrote Riker.
Oh, is it the second time you said I was Riker?
Here is why. When he is so enthusiastic to wear the clothing, I was like, God, that's Ben wears the clothes. He's always dressed for the occasion and excited to do it. I was like, that's Ben right there.
Yeah.
Ben, and here's another thing that I hope you don't feel like is an insult. Not feeling any shame about it either. He's like, what the fuck is your problem? I'm putting on the clothes. This is the style of the people.
I've had occasion to dress up for a couple of weddings where I had to wear something way outside of my cultural context. And one time I had to wear a kufi and a makawis, and I was very...
You had that already, right?
No, I had to borrow everything, didn't know how to put it on, but then I was walking back from the wedding to my hotel, and people were going assalamu alaikum to me, and I was like, what is going on here? And then I realized oh, right, I'm dressed like I have a very serious religious conviction.
Amazing.
Yeah. Forgot what I was wearing.
Hey, while you go back and look for the mugshot photo, search for those too.
That one I have on my phone. I can send you that.
Ben, we got just a minute left. Let's go the other way with this.
Okay.
I will write down the character that I feel like most resembles me. And if you could do the same, we can compare what those answers are.
All right. I am ready.
Ben, I have written down Picard for the sole reason of his willingness to work sick.
Yeah.
I'm super blood and guts in a way that is bad for getting well or taking care of myself. I've always been this way. He is eventually ordered to bed. And that is why I feel like I most resemble Picard in this episode. Who did you pick for me?
I picked the character of Ramsey.
Okay.
I think that Ramsey has he's a little bit irascible in this episode, a little bit resistant to anyone coming in from the outside and telling him how it's going to be. And I think that you have a great quality of like moral self-assuredness, and I don't think that you are going to like burn anything down because of it, which is like a good thing, like I think you like know what your values are and know what you want your life to look like. And you're not going to put up with any shit from anyone that would detract from that.
But I think I would move off of Dante's Peak, though.
I think if it was your special person hanging out in your Star Trek cave with you and you were out there, enjoying your pot of coffee, not bothering anyone.
Yeah, maybe.
That would feel like, hey, everybody can go fuck themselves. I'm just doing my thing over here. Who do you think you are? I am.
Great way to wrap that segment up, Ben. Another fun addition to that one. Another loss for you and me.
Yeah,
but
whiff.
We're playing the long game with this one.
Yeah.
See how it goes as time goes on.
Well, this has been a ton of fun, Adam, and appreciate it. And I also appreciate our producer, Wynde Priddy, who's about to tell you the credits, all the great folks who worked really hard to get this episode to you, how you can support, and all the great things you have to look forward to coming from us. Take it away, Wynde.
Thanks, Wynde.
Bye-bye.
Darmok, Angelad, and Tanagra.
The Greatest Generation is an Uxbridge Shimoda podcast. It's hosted by Ben Harrison and Adam Pranica, and it's produced and edited by Wynde Priddy. Next week, we will be back with another episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, so tell me you love jazz, because it's Season 1, Episode 15, 11001001. Until then, we want to say thank you to all of the members who are supporting this show. You can join them. You'll get an ad-free feed plus a lot of great bonus episodes. Sign up at greatesttrek.com. You can also just click the support link in the show notes right there in your podcatcher. And of course, we really appreciate it. Music for The Greatest Generation is by Dark Materia. Social media is managed by Bill Tilley and Rob Adler, who also puts together the Greatest newsletter every month. Visit podshop.biz to get signed up for that. You can also book a P1 there and find yourself some fun merch. All of that helps support the show too, so thanks. Follow our official social media pages on Instagram, Blue Sky, and YouTube, and use the hashtag GreatestGen when you post about the show. Over on Greatest Trek, we're back into new Star Trek with Season 4 of Strange New Worlds. If you want to join us for the watch-along, just find Greatest Trek in your podcatcher and make sure you're subscribed. That's all for now. We'll see you next week on The Greatest Generation.
Make it so. Make it so.
Uxbridge.
Shimoda.